skip that reading in the lectionary. These are really hard words. They fit right into the mentality that says, why are we still reading this ancient book? It's too flawed to be sacred text for the like of us, intelligent, mature 21st century people. Why don't we just put the book on the shelf, let it gather dust, and us move on in our thinking, move on to something new. If you've been around the past couple of Sundays, you might experience the cognitive dissonance of getting to hear from where we've been as well. We've come from one story after another of liberation and new life for people. So a couple of Sundays ago, we heard about the woman who was bent over, finally being able to straighten up after 12 long years. We left her singing and praising God. And last week, the dinner party guests who chose their seats because of their status sat right up close to the host, got their comeuppance. They had to move down so the more modest people could come up. We were very satisfied with that. But now this. Hate your father and mother and brothers and sisters and spouse and children. Take up your cross, give up your possessions, or forget the whole thing. It hardly sounds like the same Jesus who turned off the kindness and turned on all this bitterness, all this anger. The cognitive dissonance, I really love that term. It's probably most extreme for those of us who were here last Wednesday night for the final session of the mindfulness class. We finished our 8 weeks together with a meditation called Loving Kindness. And so we closed our eyes and we thought of some person who had loved and supported us through our lives, and we wished them well in return. May you be happy, healthy, and whole. May you have love, warmth, and affection. May you be protected from harm and free from fear. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. May you experience inner peace and ease. Beautiful words. And then we imagined them saying those words to us. May you be happy, healthy, and whole. May you have love, warmth, and affection. May you be protected from harm. May you be free from fear. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. May you experience inner peace and ease. We spoke kindly to ourselves. May I be happy and healthy and loved. May I be safe and protected. May I be alive and free. And then we directed those wishes outwards to other people that we cared about, and then to people in our lives that we don't even know particularly, like the person who rings up our groceries at the supermarket, or the person directing the traffic in the roadways. We kept enlarging the circle of blessing. We thought of somebody maybe we were having a difficult time with. Just like me, we reminded ourselves, they want to feel happiness and joy. Just like me, they want peace and ease. They want to be loved and to know their loved ones are safe and healthy. Just like me, they're doing the best they can with their inner and outer resources. So we surrounded them with kindness. And we kept expanding the circle until, at the end, it encompassed not only all the people on the globe, but the plant and animal life as well. And several of us, it may even have been most of us, said that out of all the meditations we've done, that was our favorite. That was the one that we loved the most. I wonder if you can still feel some of those vibes in our sanctuary to come here to worship today. It was very beautiful. We all left sincerely wanting our lives to be about radiating blessing, however we could manage that. So 4 days later we come back, and the instruction is to hate. Makes you want to say, forget Christianity. Sign us all up as Buddhists. This is just the kind of religion that is making the world horrible right now. Our very own Jesus engaging in the kind of rhetoric that gives religion a bad name. Let us free from it. Just get us out of here, right? I've read many Bible commentaries this week, and they only give us one real shred of help. That concerns this word hate. Jesus didn't actually mean hate, they say. When you turn a Semitic language into English, not everything works. So So if we wanted to express what he's saying, we wouldn't say it that way. We would say something like, you need to love me more than you love father, mother, brothers, sisters, spouse, children. In Jesus' Aramaic language, you love the one and hate the other. It's how you express that. And I believe that. I think that's right. So we can dial back some of the shock that we feel at Jesus' words. But they're still plenty disturbing. That cognitive dissonance remains. Hard words. So now it really is a choice. Do we dismiss Christianity and move on to something more spiritually enlightening? Or do we hang in there? And if that's too extreme a choice, do we maybe get out a pair of scissors and just cut this particular bit out? You could probably explain it away, say that it has nothing to do with us because it's about the time in which the gospel was written. 80 AD at the earliest. I can still remember Emperor Nero in 80 AD. Maybe it was as late as 110 AD. These people knew all about persecution. So many a disciple would have been faced with the choice between following Christ and being loyal to their family and their community. Many probably had given up their homes and their possessions. There was good news to share, there were places to go and people to be with. It really could cost all of those things. And it really could land you on a cross. But that's not true for us anymore. We could say, thank you very much, nice little glimpse into history, but it's not relevant anymore for us. So just snip, snip, take the passage out, don't deal with it. Because then we could go straight to chapter 15, which is full of light. It's all about the lost being found, and there are parties. Chapter 15 is full of parties, full of celebration. Much happier place to be. Gladness, parties, lost being found, loving kindness, blessing. That's more the faith I'm sure we want to sign up for. It would sure preach better. But there's something in my gut that says if we let ourselves off the hook of today's reading, something essential would be lost. We'd be left with fluff, marshmallow cream. It's fine for a sunny day on Mercer Island. Aren't we lucky to live in a beautiful place like this? But go home to any problems, go to work, open a newspaper, and you need more than marshmallow cream to sustain you. You need backbone. You need character. You need to be willing to pay a price, to believe something enough to stand up for it. You need the real Jesus, not the always smiling sweetness and light version that you get in so many liberal churches. There's a guy named William Lamar who writes for the Christian Century magazine, and his words on this passage really woke me up. There had to be something more to Jesus, he writes. I wanted to find texture, nuance, even anger in the Lord. But what I got was more sugar. It was Sunday school. It was the South. And in Dixie, both black and white Christians tend to prefer sweet tea and sweet Jesus. In my middle school, I was bored by the one-dimensional Jesus of the church. I was listening to Public Enemy and Boogie Down Productions. I was reading Malcolm X and James Baldwin. I became alienated from the gospel because its protagonists seemed to live in a prison of unflappable patience and limitless kindness, and I assumed he expected the same from his disciples. That would never be me. A fuller portrait of Jesus did not emerge for me in the church. It emerged in college. In class, we read texts critically and respectfully. My faith was challenged. My juvenile theology made its way on towards adulthood. I grew intrigued by Jesus. Well, the church seemed fearful of letting Jesus out of prison even for a weekend pass, like we were afraid he might actually decide to join us at 11 a.m. Friends, he says, we can do better. We can be unafraid of the Jesus who turns tables. We need that Jesus. We have some table turning to do. So be unafraid of the Jesus who demands that we hate father, mother, wife, children, brother, sister, and yes, life itself in order to follow him. we have some hating to do. There are some traditions and lies that we have received from those who came before us, things that must be hated and abandoned if we are to have any hope of being used by God. It's tempting to sprinkle sugar or pour honey on this text, but the news does not have to be sweet. It has to be good. If he's right, then my job this morning is to tell you that if you only live fulfilling society's expectations, going through the motions, keeping your nose clean, there's something missing. The mission of Jesus is to transform the whole world into a place of fairness and thriving, abundant life for everybody, all the lost found, all the sinners called to better ways, all the unjust structures put right. Live and die for that, and you'll look back at the end of life knowing that your life meant something. All the rest is just chatter by comparison. I know that you and I will probably live ordinary lives in most ways, but if we've got that backbone in us, instead of just marshmallow cream, a faith that stretches our spirits and makes them sing, instead of just indulging them and making them happy, then life becomes technicolor, like Dorothy making it to Oz. We don't know what we might be called upon to be or to do, but if we say yes to discipleship, what's certain is that there will be something. Sooner or later, there will be a challenge that takes our breath away, that really costs, and all the words will be true. Backbone means having one loyalty that's higher than all the rest, so that if it became necessary to leave father, mother, spouse, children, possessions, that's what you'd do. Not lightly, not to run away, but to step up to some service for the kingdom which is yours alone to perform. Because following Jesus is the single most important thing in your life. These are scary words, but I don't want to belong to a church that doesn't speak them. We are part of the mission of God in this world. It is a mighty, mighty calling. We need to be ready.